When I was presented with the opportunity to deliver a TED Talk, I took some time to think about what are the topics that I could potentially talk to you about. And after some thought and consideration, I realized, well, what could I actually talk about? Because I haven't graduated yet. I don't have a degree in anything. I haven't written any significant research paper, nor have I discovered a new molecule. So what could I possibly talk about? And then after some thinking with myself, I decided, okay, I'll just leave that pretending to be smart thing to someone else, to the professionals, and I'll instead focus on something that I love. And I love problems. Yes, you heard me right. I love problems, I adore them, I love them since I was a little kid, and I love them even now. You can even ask my parents if that is a true fact, and I think they will approve of it. And my aim with today's presentation is to at least inspire you to rethink and reinvent the word problem in your own life. Now, you may be thinking, but Efnan, you already said you have no research to back you up, so what are you doing? What are you going to be talking about? Well, I do not have official research, but I do have my own research, my own personal one, that I've done on myself and on my little brother. So this is my test user. He's the victim that I'm making the experiments on, but they are successful. You will learn something from them. So when I compare myself when I was a kid and now, I see the way that I perceive problems in a different way. And I miss the old Efnan, how she used to look at problems. And so when I was 12 years old, my youngest brother was born, I was able to observe how he perceived life and how he perceived problems in general. My brother is a 5th grader, keep that in mind, and he loves math. He always asks me to give him some new examples to learn more, not just because he wants to go ahead of what his teacher is already teaching them, but because he really enjoys solving the problems. And I decided to take this opportunity to try and learn something about problems, because as you know, and you've already said, people try to avoid problems, they don't love them. But my brother loves them. So why is that? And I decided to take 3 cases, 3 different cases, with the hypothesis of a question, what is the highest probability that a problem will be solved? In the first case, I gave him this problem. Of course, remember, he's a 5th grader. This is too simple for him. This is usually what preschoolers do or 1st graders. And if I give him this equation, this is his reaction. He's going to look at me as, really, sis? Do you think I'm a baby? Why are you giving me such an easy question? I'm not even going to do it. And he didn't do it, so probability 0. Next example is I give him this limit, this equation. Now, this is something that I do in high school, I do in university even. So giving him this kind of an example is too far-fetched. Now, he's going to look at it, he's going to try to maybe solve it, look what he knows, he has learned about the variable x, maybe he's going to sum up some 2 numbers, but he's not gonna be able to do it, unfortunately. And the third case scenario is if I give him something that he almost knows. So for example, if I give him to calculate the surface area of a cube, he's going to remember that they did multiplication at school. He's going to remember that they did 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional objects, and he's going to relate those things and solve it. Maybe he's going to ask my help for a few advice, but at the end, he will probably solve it. So the conclusion for the hypothesis is a problem will be highly likely to be solved if it is in the range of what you already know. So for example, if my brother is at level 3, let's say, sorry if the numbers are a little bit distorted, but you get the point. If he is at level 3, if I give him something from level 4, he will probably be able to do it because it is close to what he already knows. He will ask for external help, but he will be able to do it. But if I give him something from level 9, he will give up. I mean, there is no way he can do it. Another hypothesis for the problems that I asked is, do people actually hate problems, or do they just say it because they like complaining? If you think about a beating heart, if a heart is only static, it's plateaued, there is no life. However, if you have spikes of up and down, something is happening, and we want something to be happening. We want action in our life. And problems, in a way, are the action that we desire. So people that have no problems, when we say we want a perfect life, we actually don't desire that at the bottom of our hearts. We want something to be happening. We want something challenging. So if you shift the word problem with the word challenging, you will see it in a totally different way. You will want to upgrade yourself, to reinvent yourself. And I have an example. I went to village, to my aunt, and I wanted to spend 1 week at her house. I really wanted to do that. And I did. I stayed 1 whole week at my aunt's house in the village. As you can see, she has sheep, she has cows, she milks the cows, she makes the cheese. I did all of that. And whenever I tell people that I went to the village willingly, they would all look at me and say, why would you do that to yourself? Like, you have a nice home in the city, you don't have to do anything. Why don't you just stay there? Well, it's because I craved the problems. I wanted there to be, I wanted something to be happening. And I have a blessed life, so I have no big problems, thank God. But I just need, this is what I needed in my life. And I understand people that already have problems because, okay, why would you look for more problems if you have it? But if you don't, people actually desire the problems, which is my hypothesis. And the last hypothesis is that problems are actually relative. So it depends on what kind of problems you have in your life and how you prioritize them. For example, a very relative example that I think you can relate to is having a pimple on your face or having a bad hair day. You can wake up and say, oh my God, I have a pimple. I so don't like it. And you can't wait for it to go away. But look at this example. This is also when I was at the village. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but if you have a herd of sheep, you usually let them go in the morning and they hop around, they eat the grass that they like, and at night they come alone because they have their leader sheep. So they come alone to the yard, to the barn. But it was not the case on one of the days. The sheep did not come back. So me, my aunt, and my uncle, we had to go and search for them. And as you can see in the picture, I think it depicts it very well. It was stormy, it was cold, windy, the mud was all over the place. So how could you enjoy that? But if somebody, and at the end, I forgot to tell you, at the end, we did find the sheep and they did go to the barn. But if you asked me, and if you asked my aunt, what did she think of that experience? She would say, I hate those days. I hate those days. I don't like it when they don't come back. I just wish they would come back every day alone. But if you ask me, it was an adventure. I liked it so much, like going through the forest, looking for the sheep, where are they? It was so amazing and I loved it. So what is the difference? The difference is that I was a spoiled city girl. I didn't have any problems. So I needed to get myself some action. And in this case, I just want you to shift the word problem with the word adventure. Adventure also has obstacles, just like problems. But why do we view it in a more positive way? Because our mindset is different. We have a positive attitude towards adventure. So what was the bigger problem? My pimple or that 40 sheep are missing? If you could take anything from this TED Talk, I would just wish that in your life you exchange the word problem with either the word challenge or adventure. Because the moment you do that, your mindset shifts immediately. You don't look at it as something that you hate and you don't want to do. You look at it as something that makes you grow, that makes you go to that next level, that makes you upgrade yourself. And if you look at it as an adventure, you will not only will you upgrade yourself, but you have fun while doing it. Thank you so much.